Hey everyone, it's me again, and today I have the first of what is probably going to end up being a series. So initially, I was planning on doing a big makeup collection and storage video, which I know has been requested by some people in the past, but I have a lot of makeup, and when I looked in my eyeshadow palette drawer in particular, I thought to myself, oh gosh, this is something that is going to take a really long time. It might need its own video. And then I really looked at my eyeshadow palette collection and I thought, oh god, this is gonna need 2 videos. So this is the first of a 2-parter showing you my entire eyeshadow palette collection. I grabbed quite a few palettes over here with me, and I'm going to start out under the theme of palettes that I need to use more. These are palettes in my collection that I've had for a long time and that just don't get as much attention as they probably should. Or maybe I just plumb don't like them, so I don't use them very much. My definition of a palette is a collection of eyeshadows that numbers in 8 or more. With the exception of one palette, all of the palettes I have here have 8 shades or more in them. Let's go ahead and start with this little guy. This is the only guy that breaks the 8-pan rule because technically it identifies itself as a palette, so it's still a palette. This is the Naked Basics palette by Urban Decay. This is still available on Urban Decay's website. They also have Naked Basics too. And I just don't use this. I really don't. When I first got it, I thought it was going to be perfect to use kind of in conjunction with other palettes as like a companion palette, but I don't find myself gravitating to this. It's just, it's boring, and for me, Urban Decay eyeshadows are way, way, way overhyped. They have way too much hype. They're not really even that good, at least on my eyes. Like when I try to use this palette, it'll work out great at first until I get into the deeper, darker shades like Faint right here and Crave over here, these two. As soon as I add those into a look that I'm using just with this palette alone, or any look for that matter, they turn muddy like that. And it's just, with all of the other matte shadows I have in my collection that are much, much better than this, I just never grab for it. I never use it. Another palette that I don't use nearly as much as I probably should is Vice 2. Now, they came out with Vice 4 this year, but this was when I was on the Urban Decay bandwagon, and I thought, oh, maybe the Vice palettes are really as awesome as they say they are, and there's some beautiful shades in here, but I just don't grab for it. There's almost always glitter in nearly every single one of Urban Decay's shadows. The mattes in here are okay, but they're just okay. Most of the shades can be kind of tough to work with. Some of them are total glitter bombs, and it's just, why would I work with something that's hard to work with when I have other shades that work much better? So I use like Betrayal a lot and Voodoo a lot when I do like purpley looks, but other than that, I don't really use this a whole lot. But I should. I should make a point to be using this more because it was expensive and I need to really just cave and try and work with it a little bit more. Another palette that I really should be using more is the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette. This palette is beautiful. Unlike the other palettes where, I just don't like some of them, this palette is gorgeous. I love it. It's one of the best affordable palettes out there. The shadows are creamy and pigmented and smooth and blendable. It's even got a duochrome shadow up here that is gorgeous. I really need to use this more. I just have so many palettes that I don't typically reach for it, but I will use it from time to time. I just need to make a point to use it more because it's stunning. The Sephora and Pantone Universe Facets of Marsala palette. This, when I first got it, I was absolutely obsessed with it. And every time I open it, I'm like, oh my god, this is beautiful. Why am I not using this more? Because these shadows are creamy, they're pigmented, they're blendable, they're gorgeous. And the shades are right up my alley with, the browns and the really warm tones, but you got a couple of winning cool shades in there as well. So I don't use it right now because I don't want to make videos out of it because it's not available anymore. You can't find it. But I still want to keep using it because it's gorgeous, so it's kind of like an inner turmoil sort of thing. So if you want to see another video with this palette, I already have a tutorial with it. I'll put it up in the cards up here from ages ago so you can watch that. But if you want to see more videos using this palette, go ahead and leave a like and I will be sure to make that happen. The Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy palette. This is stunning. It is my favorite collection of shadows that Anastasia Beverly Hills has ever come out with. They are gorgeous, they coordinate so well, and you know, they're creamy, they're pigmented, they're blendable, they're wonderful to work with. Again, it's a limited edition palette, so it's kind of like I don't want to use it because it's not available anymore, and most of the time I only ever do my makeup to film these days. So, I mean, unless I happen to be not filming that day, I really just never hardly use this. But again, let me know if you want to see me use this more, and I will definitely do that. This kind of goes along the same lines as well. This is the Laura Mercier Artist Palette for Eyes and Cheeks. This came out, I want to say last year. She comes out with an artist palette every now and again, kind of around the holiday time. There you go. There is the palette. It is really beautiful, and these shades are really pretty swatched out, but I bought this a while back when it was on sale because it went on sale for $25 and these palettes are normally like $60. So I was like, yes, please. But looking at it, I mean, I can't really come up with too many interesting looks just using this palette alone, and I just haven't really reached for it a whole lot. It's not that it's boring, it's just, you know, it's limited edition, which kind of goes against it, and I just can't come up with looks from it that are interesting. I don't know. Also from Laura Mercier, this is the artist palette from 2013, way back in the day, the one with the plush packaging. I know Laura Mercier re-released this exact same palette. Some of the shades were, I think, a little bit different in texture, but they re-released this palette with all of the same shades. So I may have to pick it up and really start using it in videos again because now you can actually, you know, get your hands on it if you want to. But for a long time it wasn't available, so I didn't want to use it on film. I did, however, use it a ton. This African Violet shade is gorgeous. Fresco down here I've used a ton. It's a really beautiful palette, definitely worth picking up. One of my favorites to use on clients in particular. Just anybody who's looking for a sophisticated, soft, natural look with a little bit of a twist, I always pull this out because it's fancy, it's wonderful, and it's beautiful to work with. The BH Cosmetics Galaxy Chic palette. This palette is gorgeous to look at, and all the shadows are stunning. Like, all of these shadows are pigmented, they're decently blendable, and they're baked, so you can use them wet or dry. I just don't find myself reaching for this very much, and I don't know why, because it's pretty. It's really beautiful. Of course, I'm not bringing it on the trip with me because the packaging is a little bit impractical. You can see the cardboard is already starting to kind of bow out here, so it's not shutting right. I wish there was a way that I could, like, depan this and put these in like a Z palette or something. I feel like I'd use them a lot more. The last two I'm going to be featuring in this video are the Too Faced chocolate bar palettes. I love these, so like I adore them, but I never ever use them. Particularly the original chocolate bar palette. I used it a ton when I first got it, and then it just kind of fell by the wayside as new palettes started coming out and new makeup started coming out that I needed to play with. It is a gorgeous neutral palette. I mean, some of these shades are super amazing, but I just don't reach for it. I mean, I have so many neutral palettes, and I feel like some of them kind of get lost in the mire, even though they are really good, and this is definitely one of them that's really good. It kind of gets lost in my massive collection of neutral eyeshadows. And then the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar. Like, I wasn't gonna buy this initially, but I ended up buying it and falling in love with it. It is beautiful. There's so many warm shades in here, but you've got those taupey colors that are also stunning. Like, I've created some amazing looks with this. And then, you know, more new palettes started coming out, and I just kind of didn't really use it all that much. So that's about it. That's the long and the short of it. Those are part 1 of my palette collection, specifically relating to the palettes that I hardly ever use and need to use more. So I hope you guys found this informative and interesting. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned because part 2 will be coming, as well as a video of my entire makeup collection and storage as soon as I get everything organized over there. But if you did find this video informative and helpful, there's a button for that. Spank that like button in the butt, you know it deserves it. And if you want to see more from me, subscribe and become a member of the faithful today. I upload new videos every Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!